Okay, you do better than that.
So we hope you'll pour a glass of wine and enjoy this time with us. And the recipe is posted on the link on the video, so you can cook along with us and ask questions as we go. So it looks like my mom has beat me to it. Let's have a glass of wine to start the weekend.
Yes,
Cheers.
And I've been waiting for this glass of wine all day. Actually, I've been waiting for this cooking show all week. I have to tell you that I have so much fun with this. I hope you only have a teeny bit amount of the fun that I have. So let me tell you about the story of the recipe today. So today it is...
First, we got to talk about the wine.
Oh,
this
okay.
is our 2016 Cavalls.
Okay.
So this is a Pinot Noir from our Sonoma Coast vineyard, which is just a few miles from us here on the original property, Sonoma Coast, very close to the ocean, very cool. And this wine spends 10 months in oak, and 50% French oak.
The vineyard is named?
The vineyard is Doña Margarita, named after my grandmother.
Which is abuelita in Spanish, right?
Yes. And so this is a wine, well, it's just released. We literally just released it last week, and it made Press Democrats Wine of the Week, which we're thrilled about. This wine is really about red and black fruits and forest floor.
Forest floor, yeah, forest floor. Interesting. The ones in from Sonoma Coast have this forest flourish, mushroomy, I don't know, bacony, characteristics that you don't find in the Russian River Valley. Isn't that interesting?
It's a beautiful, a darker almost style of Pinot Noir. And yeah, it's a brand new release, our Cavalls 2016. So let's get to our Tarta de Santiago.
Yes, okay.
I hear you traveled and researched a lot before writing your first cookbook.
Oh, yeah.
And so you spent time visiting the different regions of Spain and finding new recipes. And so tell us about the Tarta de Santiago. Why is it called the Tarta de Santiago, and where's it from?
So Santiago is the capital of Galicia, and Galicia is the northwesternmost region of Spain, and it's really a very different from the rest of the regions of Spain. It rains a lot there, and but the temperature is mild, and when I went there, I was fascinated. I was then married to an Irishman, and I felt that there were more Irishmen than Spaniards. It's very funny. They even have their own language, Gallego or Galician, which is a separate language.
So you mean that they seemed more Irish than Spanish? That the Galician people seemed more Irish?
Yeah, they're very, okay, I highlighted that. That from my book, okay? Individualistic, Epicurean, tradition-bound, cynical, and great conversationalists. And they are good drinkers as well, I promise. And so while Spain's consumption in those days was 15 gallons per capita, Galicia's was 35. So anyway, what's wrong with that, right?
They're keeping us in business. And so the Tarta de Santiago, why is it Santiago?
So Santiago is the capital of Galicia, okay? But it's not only the capital, but it's also the spiritual capital. It's named after the apostle, Saint James. Saint James in Spanish, it's Santiago, and Santiago is a claim for gives the credit for having won the reconquest of Spain from the Moors. So, as you may or may not know, in the year, I have to check that, in the year 711, the Moors invaded Spain, and they started in the south, in Andalusia, and then they went up all the way to the north. But in the north, where Galicia and Asturias and the Cantabric Sea, the north, is, it's very mountainous, so they never reached that. So Asturias is right next to Galicia, and so the reconquest, or the reconquering, the
taking back
from the Moors in those days started and it wasn't going very well because the Moors had their religion and they were fighting for their religion and for for having everybody turn to their religion. But the Spaniards didn't. So what happened is in the year 813, some fishermen claimed to have found on the beach the remains of the apostle Santiago, St. James. And so that gave the Spaniards the strength to battle their reconquest. So it went.
So they were inspired by their spirituality.
Exactly. And then one great idea the church had is in the year. I don't know, 900 and something. 900 and something. The church, the Catholic Church, came up with the idea of creating a bulla or they said that anybody who went on the Camino de Santiago, which I know many Americans have done, it's the road that leads to Santiago, and they would come from France, as far away from Germany as from Germany, they would get all their sins pardoned. Isn't that a great idea? So, of course, that created the Camino de Santiago. And then the pilgrims would just, today, of course, it's very touristy, but it still is beautiful. And you and I have to do that because we've never done it.
And hey, we've got word that we've got Bill online, and he is enjoying a glass of Método Antiguo as we get our history lesson that I bet you didn't know you were going to be getting tonight. Mm-hmm. And Linda is enjoying a glass of La Masia.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to everybody. Okay, that gives me a...
Mm-hmm. And let's see. Okay.
So this is a tart that is really easy to make. And so we're going to start. Wait, did I have everything here?
It's so fun to have having people joining us online and be getting this feedback as we go, and it feels like you're with us. It's as close as we're gonna get for now.
So the recipe from my book, The Spanish Table, and this is kind of a very used copy because I use it a lot. But we will send you the recipe, right?
The recipe is posted. Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
It's posted.
Okay. So first we start,
and we're gonna try our second wine. The Earthquake Block.
Why not?
This is our 2014 Earthquake Block Pinot Noir. This is from this vineyard, the Russian River Valley Vineyard, and it is from a specific block of the vineyard called the Earthquake Block. Mm-hmm. And this is because, during the El Nino year in '95, right, that you had just bought the house here where we are right now, and it was a big storm, El Nino, and then you looked out over the vineyard, there's a beautiful view, and it looked like the earth had parted, that there had been a huge earthquake because of this big storm.
Because there was a ravine. And we had covered the ravine to be able to plant the vineyard the following season. And it really looked like an earthquake. So why not?
That's the Earthquake Block. And this is a club exclusive wine, which is available now for everyone as a special access. And it is unfiltered, like all of our Pinot Noirs. We really want to keep the integrity and take away as little as possible and just really have that reflection of the vineyard, that terroir.
And the vineyard is named after?
It is the Don Miguel vineyard here, named after my grandfather.
Okay, grandpa. Yes.
Abuelito,
okay.
And so the Earthquake Block, this is a wine that's tasting beautifully. You've got more of those tertiary characteristics with a bit more bottle age, a bit more of that leather, mushroom.
And the thing is that we make wines that are made for aging. I mean, well, not that they are made. I mean, they want to age. Mm-hmm. So, when we release a wine and the press wants the wines right away, and it's like a 16 is already considered a little old. Imagine the 14, but it's beautiful. This one is better now than it was 2 years ago. And the Cavalls is great now, better than a year ago, but it will be continuing to get better for 10 or 15 years.
So we've got a question from John Gregory Ortiz about what retail stores do we sell our wines in. Well, the 2016 Cavalls is in Bottle Barn. in Santa Rosa, a great wine store. And the Earthquake Block is
also in Pacific Market.
And in Pacific Market, yes,
and
in Sebastopol. And Sonoma Wine Shop, are a great restaurant and wine shop here in Sebastopol as well.
In Occidental.
And at Hazel, yes, which all restaurants essentially are serving as retail stores now. So that's your West Sonoma County locations. Our Earthquake Block and the rest of our wines, but the Earthquake Block is only available online on our website, marimarestate.com, and you can find all the rest of our wines there. Okay, so let's get back to our baking. Let's get back to our baking. I hear who has been baking a lot during this time of quarantine. I certainly have. I certainly have. And usually on the weekends, I like to do some baking. So let's see. Let's get started.
Okay. So what I did, first of all, you want to cream some butter and sugar, okay? So we have a quarter pound of unsalted butter and 1 cup of sugar. So this takes about 5 minutes to really get it to the point where, okay, I can't show you, right? But it's really light in texture and
creamy. Yeah, less grainy and so you just put it in the food processor and let it go. The
sugar and the butter really get blended with it. So about 5 minutes. So, but it's very noisy, so I did it before. And then now we're gonna add 4 eggs, just like that, and about a tablespoon.
The eggs from our chickens,
of course,
as many of you know,
and a tablespoon of lemon zest from our tree. And some wonderful brandy, the best from our family, Torres family brandy. And that is going to be, oops, don't move it. Oh no, I didn't move it. Okay, so it's going to be 2 tablespoons and half a teaspoon. That's what I decided was the best. And I think the original recipe in my book was just 2 tablespoons, but I think it goes well. And then comes the cream sherry, of which we have half a tablespoon. Half a tablespoon. Okay. Oopsie. Coming over. Bloop, bloop. And now we will mix it all. Pretty easy so far, right? And then we kind of move it around a little bit. And then we're going to add some flour. And the flour, we don't want it to be exact color, 2/3 of a cup. Just until blended. And
okay, we've got a question from Anna Maria Pergini about retail stores in Petaluma. I don't know off the top of my head. Your best bet would be buying from us online, and we are offering complimentary home delivery in Sonoma County and Marin County on orders of 4 or more bottles. So go to MARIMAR'S.com.
Okay, and now we're going to put it all in a bowl. And can you tell the consistency and the, oops, you know what? I have to wash my finger. Oh, can you do it? Okay, you do it. With the beautiful, the spatula.
I've been enjoying some recipes, some brownie recipes too. Let's see how the Tarta de Santiago holds up.
And then we're gonna fold some almonds. So it's the almonds are whole almonds, and they've been ground. Okay, finely ground, as you can see, and as you can see them going in. And then you're gonna fold them. And folding is something.
So tell me about? I remember it taking quite a while for me to understand what folding is all about, and it's actually it's easy, but it takes practice.
Yeah.
And why is it important?
So because you want for the pasta, the dough to be airy, okay? You don't want it kind of heavy. And so if you go like that with the spatula, so every time you go like this and you do.
So you cut down the middle,
yeah,
and around,
yes,
and then turn.
And then you get a ribbon. You get a ribbon that goes like that, and that's what you have to do. So I don't know if you guys can see it.
You may need to watch a YouTube video unfolding.
Yeah, but it's really worth it. It's really worth doing it. And it's really until it's totally folded. So it takes a little while. So you can talk about the wines. Meanwhile.
Okay. Oh, you know what I found out? I was doing some research, and I found out that, I bet you didn't know this, that in 2010, the Tarta de Santiago, now as of 2010, has PGI status, so protected geographic indication, like an appellation.
Wow, wow.
So like wine, like champagne, you know, Bordeaux, Russian River. So thank you. For it to be Tarta de Santiago, it must be made in Galicia. So I guess we don't quite meet that criteria. And it must also be at least 1/3 almonds. At least 33% of the volume of the recipe must be almonds. So Tarta de Santiago is now in a protected product. Like Cavalls Serrano too.
But at this point is when you taste it, right? And you take the spatula, which is going to go to the
maybe not during the times of coronavirus though.
No, but you taste it and then you go, oh, I could eat it just like that. And then I'm going to go to the part where I then I'll need another spatula, of course, because I use one.
Mom, we've got a question from Deborah Ramos, who tunes in every week. We love hearing from you, Deborah. She says, I don't have cream sherry. Is it okay to substitute with Amontillado sherry?
Sure. I've never tried it. I mean, yes, the only thing with cream sherry is a little sweeter. So, you know, when you taste it, before going into the oven, taste it. And then if you think that it's not sweet enough,
so maybe add a little more sugar.
Yeah, but I don't think you need to, because, you know, quite frankly, I think it's quite sweet. What do you think? You should taste it.
Well, definitely the cream sherries do have Pedro Jimenez, which is the really sweet style of sherry that is like a syrup added into the dry styles, like Amontillado. Oh boy. Yum, yum.
Yum, yum. Okay. And now, so I had pre-buttered a spring film mold. This is the ones that I really like, because once it's baked, then you move it like that, and this comes out, and then you have the tart, and you can even put it on the plate. So now I'm going to put it in the oven, in a cold oven, and we're going to take.
This is a trick that you found.
That's something that I found that worked better, because otherwise it gets a little kind of heavy. And I found if I start with a cold oven, that it works better. So I'm going to put it in a cold oven, and we're going to turn it to 350, and we're going to theoretically wait for about 30 minutes. Okay?
Just watch how it happens. Let's see.
Exactly.
Then we do a little run around, and
magically, guess what you get?
Wow! Ta-da!
Okay, this is the tart. That's the way it looks, with a little piece, of course, to make sure that it had that was tasting good. But now what we're going to do is really something fun.
Oh, I've got a question from Diane Lowe. What can ground almonds be replaced with almond flour?
No. I mean, I wouldn't advise it, because what's really fun here is the crunchiness of the almonds, and it's really tasty. So what I did is I bought from Spain, this round thing, and this is the Santiago cross. This is the cross of Santiago. So anytime you have a Tarta de Santiago in Spain, and you will get it all over northern Spain, Galicia, Asturias, Cantabria, even I think in Basque Country. I don't remember, but anyway. And then what you do is that you cut out a piece of cardboard, okay? And here is the cross of Santiago. So then you put the cross of Santiago on top of the cake, And then you take some powdered sugar and you put it here and you go like that. And then, okay, Cristina, talk about the wines while I do that.
So we're putting some powdered sugar on, and this is really, I mean, just the final touch, making it.
Yep. Sort of.
Yeah.
But the fun part is that then you do this. I mean, normally you would put the whole thing in, and then you take the cross out, and guess what? Can you see that it has a cross of Santiago? Isn't it fun?
So maybe we'll have to post a link to something you can print out online and cut out.
Yep, absolutely. And so then we are going to decorate it with some whipped cream and whipped cream and I forgot. Oh, can you give me? Okay, so the whipped cream. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a dish. Let's do that.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. So we're gonna cut a piece with a knife, of course, and you're gonna see what it looks like. So this recipe, this is not very. Can you see what it looks like? It's very spongy, but not really like a sponge cake. So therefore, I think that it looks really good. Well, can you give me a spoon, please? And so you get maybe can you see it? Okay, let's take this out. So we're gonna. This is complicated. Oops. Oh, I see. I have to move back. Counterintuitive, they say. So you take a strawberry, maybe, and you kind of fan it, and then you put a few, and you put a little bit of thank you. A little bit of ice. No. Okay, some whipped cream. Okay.
Let's try it.
Yes, I'm coming. And you put it maybe on the side, and then you put a few blueberries maybe on the side. How's that? Pretty cool, huh? What do you think? Does it look presentable for your best guests? Okay, oops.
Okay.
Taste it.
Go ahead. And let's try it with the wines.
Yes,
How about
exactly.
with the Cavalls?
Okay,
Here's the Cavalls.
And so the nice thing about this tart is that it can be made ahead of time, and it holds if you put it inside a tin for about a week or so. So I made this one. It wasn't really magic, so I made it 2-3 days ago, and I tasted it this morning, and it was very good. So let's see what you think now.
And a question from Deborah. Should the almonds be raw, or is it okay if they are roasted or unsalted?
Unsalted? Well, regular almonds. I mean, no.
Do they need to be raw?
Yeah.
Raw.
Yeah,
okay.
Easier. Yes. They don't need to be toasted. Okay,
try it with the Cavalls.
Okay. Okay. Really good. So you see, you feel the crunchiness of the almonds. So that's really, I mean, a Tarta de Santiago without almonds. And I have tried it with blanched almonds, and it doesn't have the same texture. I definitely would use raw almonds with this cake. And the nice thing about this is that it goes with wine. And it goes with...
and how do you think it compares between
let's see.
the two?
Well, you have to tell me what you think, too.
I asked first.
I think the earthquake, just probably because it's older. What do you think? Another piece. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'll take one of each. Honestly, they're both tasting beautifully. You can find the links to the wines in the video, and you can buy them online. We will be, I think it's time for us to wrap up. We will